What's up, Marvel Legends? It's your boy DG here, and it is time for another Legends Legacy review. And we've just about completed the first wave. Not entirely. There's no White Tiger, but baby, there is an Ultimate Green Goblin. The figure that I thought, I don't ever need that figure. He doesn't look good. I finally have in hand, and this is a big, bad beast of a boy, and I dig this guy. I'm so happy to finally have him in the collection. Ultimate Norman Osborn. A big departure from the Osborns that we're used to seeing, the Goblins that we're used to seeing. I guess when they were making the Ultimate Universe, Bendis was like, it's silly for a grown man to put on a Halloween costume. Why would he do that? Let's just have him physically transform into the Goblin. There's things that I do and don't like about that. Actually, on the whole, I genuinely do like the idea of a physical transformation as opposed to putting on a mask, because that is like a hard to buy thing. But this character design, I think it loses something. The Green Goblin is, say what you will about the design, it's so iconic. Like, it's unique. There's nothing else that looks like the Norman Osborn Green Goblin. Whereas, the Ultimate Green Goblin looks like anything you'd see in Lord of the Rings. He looks like a cave troll, he looks like, God help us, Doomsday from the garbage Batman vs. Superman film. He is just a big, hulking, orc, ogre-looking creature. So that's a bit of a shame. So he does lose some nuance there. But having said that, as a big figure, a big hulking beastie figure, this guy is awesome. I slept on him for such a long time. It wasn't until a bit of a whim almost. I was like, go on, I'll complete the Ultimate Green Goblin. And now that I have the heftometer for a start, this is quite a hefty boy. And the flames, oh my god, I shouldn't have been, how naive of me to think that we don't desperately want a character covered in beautiful, bright, translucent flames. This just pops off the shelf. Of course he does. And I was also thinking, like, do I justify like an Ultimate line because the Ultimate Universe is separate from the 616? He doesn't really fit in with the display. But then when I started doing things chronologically, I was like, well, hey, Spider-Verse means that there's, these all exist together. And of course, like, they have actually literally been integrated now. So yeah, I gotta put Goblin in my early 2000s, late 99, early 2000s display. And he just looks great. He's got the gnarly bones sticking out of his forearms and on his shoulders up there. He's got like, it looks like bone goatee, sort of a bone chin strap going on. But yeah, it's a really, really great figure. Also in the comics, like, he straight up killed Peter Parker. Like, that was a typical sort of comic book publicity move. Marvel are like, hey, news outlets, we're killing Peter Parker. And the news outlets are like, oh my god, they're killing Peter Parker, we'll do a story about this. And then they're like, yeah, it's like Ultimate Peter Parker, so it doesn't really count. But yeah, that's what we're doing. Do stories about us. Give us publicity, please, please. But it was actually a good story. It was quite poignant. But again, you're reading it like, well, you're not actually killing Peter Parker, you're killing a version of Peter Parker. But I digress. This figure looks great. All right, simple as that. I'm really happy with this guy here. What he is lacking is any kind of shading. Shading would be so nice, but he's showing his age, which is fair enough. This figure's like about 6 years old now. So I'm giving, sort of little provisos for the fact that it's not a brand new figure. You put this next to a Gamerverse Abomination, and this guy looks pretty pitiful in comparison. But I'm not gonna do that so harshly. I do judge every character on its own merits, and like, there's no curve. But still, I give a bit of credit for when it was made. So the texture on the jeans and the rips are all very nice. Again, a little bit of like dry brushing, some more texture would have been quite nice, but we'll go without that. The flames themselves, the fact that they clip on and can be reused with guys like the Red Hulk, perfect. I'm not going to necessarily credit Hasbro for planning that, but it works like a charm. The face sculpt is mean and gruesome. There's no fixed expressions here. That's what I love about monster type characters, is that there's no uncanny valley. You're not trying to recreate a human expression. You've got a monster. So you're making a monster, and your mind is never going to look at that and be like, that's not what a monster looks like. No, this is what a monster looks like. He's got the big old horns like Tim Curry from the, not from Labyrinth, from Legend. You know, he's got so much going on here. The beautiful, gnarly hands there with the claws. It's a bit like the precursor to what would eventually become the Monster Venom sort of mold. But yeah, he's got a nice kind of torso swivel articulation as well. Works great. The only sort of thing, I always have him in quite a generic kind of pose because I like things to make sense, and the fire is flowing up. So you have to kind of have his hands down so that the fire is flowing up. But yeah, this guy is really, really great. So the only question is, where's he going to go in the rankings? And as we go along here, I can't help but think, you know, he's bigger and badder than Carnage. There's more to him than Toxin. Superior Venom I always felt was undersized. Sentry is a bit of a plain figure as much as I love him. But Hawkeye's got more going on with the bow, and I think he's just more of an iconic figure. So I am going to put Ultimate Green Goblin above Sentry and below Hawkeye, the new number 6, and a very deserving position. So there you go, Ultimate Green Goblin, number 6 in the Legends Legacy review, and well deserved as well. I'm so happy that I finally have this figure in my collection. I'm not going to go crazy with Ultimate Marvel, don't need the Vulture, but I've got Ultimate Peter Parker as well, and little Peter Parker next to him. That is fantastic. It works so well. So this is a figure I'm very happy with. Shouldn't have slept on him for so long. Guys, thanks so much for watching. It's always a pleasure to be able to do these videos and comment about them with you and have the discussions about whether these characters are good or bad, if I'm being too generous or too unkind. So keep watching, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button to join the 6-1 clicks. I will see you in the next episode, and until then, keep displaying model behavior.